Thank you to all the members for supporting my channel. You know, a few videos ago I talked about characters that I really don't like in Genshin. And you know, I figured since I'm kinda negative all the time, I may just make a video about the characters I really like. And thankfully, a lot of the comments seem to agree with that sentiment, as I would say every other comment was demanding me to talk about the ones I enjoy playing and I don't regret pulling. So if you clicked on this video, hi, my name is Sullivan Artist, and today I would like to tell you about some of the characters that I really enjoy playing as and I don't regret pulling for them. A little bit of context, because there seemed to be some dumb fucks in the last video that just assumed I wail. I don't wail on the game. I'm a YouTuber that plays the game. I've been playing the game since day one. I have every region 100%ed. I have Welkin and Battle Pass pretty much the entire time that I've played the game. And on top of that, you know, I kind of haven't missed a day of daily commissions because I have a problem. For those mean bastards that hurt my feelings in the comment section saying this is what wailing for every character gets you, fuck you. Was that too far? No, it wasn't too far. First up on the list is a character that I've played for a very long time. Anybody who's been on my channel for, I would say, 2 years now would probably have seen this one coming from a mile away. Xiao. I really like Xiao's playstyle. In a game where most characters have very boring, grounded mechanics, it's very fun being able to play as one character that just does it all. When Xiao has his elemental burst activated, he infuses himself with a shit ton of anemo power. Using this power, you're able to sling yourself around the battlefield like a chimpanzee who's high off of literally all of the sugar in the galaxy, and it is incredible. A lot of the uneducated people out there would be like, oh, but he's so boring, all you do is jump up and down, but you forget that Xiao puts this damage on everything and not just his plunging attack, so it's possible, hell it's easy, to do an auto attack, plunging attack, skill burst Xiao, and it is some of the most fun I have playing Genshin Impact. For those of you that want to know the team that I use when I do this, I typically do Yunjin, Xiao, and then either a battery and a shielder, typically Zhongli and Sucrose, because I also really like Sucrose. There's a lot of very fun combos you can do with this as you're able to freely move around the battlefield, duck and weave through enemies, and lacerate their entire organelle system with your awesome powerful auto attacks. My favorite combo is to do N1, N2, C1, jump, skill, and then slam, and that pretty much kills everything on the battlefield because my Xiao is so high investment at this point. I would say my main reason for enjoying Xiao this much is just because I am a movement whore. Pretty much every single game I play, I like to go fast as fuck. I like to be able to be unbound by the laws of gravity. Look, if I wanted to jump off a building and instantly die, I could do that in real life, and I don't want to have to do that in video games, and Xiao perfectly meets this playstyle because he is the most freeform character in the game that actually does good damage, unlike Scaramouche, who basically has to have C6 Farns on and Bennett to do even anything comparable. And going from one of the most objectively fun characters in the game, we must now go to one of the most objectively boring characters in the game, introducing Yoimiya. I can hear the comments already. Oh, this guy must be trolling. I'm not trolling, I actually do genuinely like Yoimiya, and I have to say, this one was a very pleasant surprise. I actually did kinda sorta wail for Yoimiya, but not really. See, it was right before the anniversary of the game, and as we all know, this is around the time that miHoYo decides to reset the $100 pack, so me, having gone a year without spending $100 on Genshin Impact, decided, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and buy it now. And then with this extra excess of Primo Gems, I decided to do a single 10 pull on the Yoimiya banner, to which I got 2 5-stars in one pull, and both of them were Yoimiya, which is the only time that has ever happened to me in the entire time I played Genshin. Now, I had previously gotten Yoimiya's signature weapon from a weapon banner in the past, so I instantly slapped it on her, gave her all my Shimenawa's artifacts that I collected from farming Emblem, and let me just say, she just fucks. Match that with a C6 Yunjin and a C5 best it can be Bennett, and I am literally doing 60,000 damage auto attacks every single rotation, and it is just beautiful. Getting to stand in the middle of a circle with a Zhongli shield with double Geo, double Pyro, and just absolutely annihilating anything that even comes close to me is just beautiful. And maybe that's why I don't like Lenny so much, because why would I play Lenny, who can do 80k charge attacks with a very specific team, when I can just play Yoimiya, who's doing 30,000 damage auto attacks much more quickly than Lenny is, and it requires absolutely no aiming or brain power on my part. On top of that, auto-targeting with the bow ended up getting fixed a long time ago, so she has dead-on aim 99% of the time, and it is just so nice. On top of that, match that with any enemy that's even kind of annoying to deal with, like the Winnet, the Ruin Serpent, and the Thundering Manifestation, and Yoimiya just absolutely shreds through their assholes. It's because of that reason Yoimiya has become one of the most valuable characters on my account, not only in terms of just having an insanely good ratio, but also just because she is the fuck that thing in particular stick that I pull out whenever I don't feel like dealing with a specific game mechanic. And speaking of ignoring game mechanics, let's talk about Alhaitham. I'm gonna be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I was not excited for Alhaitham at all. Matter of fact, I didn't even plan on pulling for him until the day he released. At which case I decided, fuck it, I'll give his test run a try. What's the worst that could happen? Well, I enjoyed his playstyle so much that right there on the spot, after knowing damn well I was saving for Nailu, I decided to pull for Alhaitham, and I am so happy I did. Alhaitham basically has the same kit as Keqing, but unlike Keqing, Alhaitham requires brain power to take knowledge of the amount of stacks you have and have a basic understanding of mathematics to know, damn, if I do this, I get this many stacks, and every this many seconds I lose this many stacks, and knowing how to reset your rotation. But if you manage to figure it out, which is really not that hard, I don't know why people kept saying it is, then Alhaitham will literally shit over the entire game for you. Let me put this into perspective. Alhaitham Hyperbloom was the only team I used for the entire time I explored the New Fontaine region. I killed pretty much every single enemy I came across in order to collect new mats. When I was in the Abyss the other day, I was fighting that same enemy, the new Fatui enemy, and after getting struck 2 or 3 times, my HP fell below a certain percentage, and it sent me into a tutorial because I hadn't ever seen it before. Because if there's anything Alhaitham is good at, it is being so goddamn powerful that he ignores all game mechanics. So basically what I'm saying is I like Alhaitham because he's powerful. In terms of character design, he's kinda cool. In terms of personality, he's about as bland as milquetoast. And in terms of gameplay, it's fun. It is really fun. Alhaitham basically didn't leave my team for a very long time, which just goes to show that I will take playstyle over story writing any day of the week. But you know, sometimes I want to be able to turn my brain off, and I want to be able to go even more brain dead ooga booga than I do with Yoimiya. In which case, I pull up our most recent best boy, Noelle. Once again, another character that I pulled completely on a whim. I had no intention of pulling for Noelle. I was all in. I was saving for Farina. I would get her on my team, and she would be the shit. And then I tested Noelle, and I realized, holy fucking damn, he's so fun. There's just something about a dragon that uses blue balls to get off prematurely that is just incredibly fun to play with. Oh wait, pause. So fun in fact that I've been using Noelle pretty much non-stop since I've got him. My build is pretty good, but other than that, there's not really much to talk about. I just go around the open world, I put down my balls, I do a little bit of a suck, and I blow everything away with a giant hyper beam. It is very, very fun. Even more fun if you end up going out in a co-op and you get 4 friends who also all have Noelle, and you hyper beam the entire world into ashes. As it currently stands, my only real issue with Noelle is that A, he's locked into Hydro, meaning if you go up against Hydro enemies like Hydro Slimes, you're pretty much locked into just running away or using auto attacks on other characters, cause surprise surprise, his whole kit is nothing but water. But none of that matters because he's fun to play and I like him. You know, I've noticed now that there's a distinct lack of mommies on this list, so please allow me to change that. One of my favorite Hydro characters in the game is actually Yelan. I really do enjoy Yelan's playstyle for a ton of reasons, but a little backstory. This is actually one of the very few characters in Genshin Impact that I actively saved for. I remember being very hyped for her release, and let me just say that Yelan didn't disappoint. There's 3 aspects of her kit that I really like. The first aspect being that all of her damage comes from a percentage of her HP, which just like Noelle means it's very easy to do very high damage with very little investment. All those trashy HP pieces that you end up getting while farming other domains, like the Emblem domain, finally magically have a use on this one character that came out about 4 months later. And quite possibly the best thing about Yelan has to be her elemental skill. While you're in her elemental skill, you move 50% faster than you would outside of it. On top of that, you're semi-invisible and it just feels nice to play. You can mark enemies and other things on the map before blowing them up in a huge burst of basically guaranteed damage. It's just so nice. As for how the damage is guaranteed, because she scales entirely off of her HP in terms of damage, it's very easy to build up, say, 40k HP, take 16% of that, multiply multiply it by hydro bonus damage, and then crit rate and crit damage, and boom, you have a set modifier that basically stays the same no matter what you're fighting, and I really like that. But hey, if that wasn't enough, there's also other things that Elan does that I really like. For example, I am a Sucrose enjoyer. Sucrose is my favorite character in Genshin Impact, at least at the time of recording. The problem is Sucrose is entirely built around elemental mastery, meaning if I want to make her good, I need other characters from off-field to support her so that I can actually do decent damage. And this is where characters like Elan come in. By slotting Elan onto a team with Sucrose, I can use my elemental burst to give myself extra projectiles to sling into the enemy. Then at which point I can switch back into Sucrose and use this as easy swirls to make my Sucrose significantly stronger. On top of that, Elan's passive buffs the teammate she's working with by a pretty considerable margin. And as the cherry on top, if you have weapons like Elegy for the End, it is very easy to get her burst back every single rotation while also buffing the rest of your team. Now I understand that Elegy for the End is a 5-star weapon and I don't really want to include it, but it's just something personally that I had from a previous weapon banner that made playing as Elan a hell of a lot more fun. And unlike other supports who are basically useless when they're not on the field, it's very easy to switch back into Elan after every single battle to use her to get a little bit of extra movement. And when you do this for, I don't know, a year and a half, let's just say it hurts pretty badly when all of a sudden you don't have Elan on the team anymore. And you know, gentlemen, I think that's about it. It's crazy that there's more characters that I regret pulling than characters I enjoyed pulling, but at the end of the day, I'm not really a big fan of that many characters in Genshin. I'm more of a collector than anything else, so I guess that kind of does make sense. Please, allow me to take this time to say a special thank you to my channel members. Daro, Crystal, Cat Food Tastes Good, Demomatic, Valen, I don't even know anymore to be honest, Shut Dark, and Sander. Thank you all for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. As for the rest of you, if you liked the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you really like me, go and subscribe. That all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe, and peace.